Happy Monday evening. I hope you had a fabulous day. It's the first Monday of the third month. So yeah, time is marching on. And we are at After Work Story. After Work Story. And we're going to read, I don't know if you can see it with the plastic, Opal Lee. The true story of the grandmother of Juneteenth. Let's see, Juneteenth is almost 3.5 months from now. Yeah, before you know it, we're going to be here, and it's very exciting between Black History Month and Juneteenth, right? Every day we celebrate freedom, liberty, and those who paid so much for us so that we can have freedom. I'm looking at someone who just texted me. Anyway, Opal Lee. I have a t-shirt, Juneteenth, and it has her name on the t-shirt. And we want to dig deep as far as her significance, and especially this being Women's History Month, and what it means to be free. All right, this is by Alice Faye Duncan, the words, and art by Keturah A. Bobo, who is a New York Times best-selling illustrator. Woo! So this is going to be great. Okay. None of us are free until we're all free, and we aren't free yet. Oh, that's what Opal Lee is saying. Look at a beautiful purple and gold. All right. Happy Juneteenth, Jamboree. Look at this. Come and join the fun. Opal Lee waved to her great-grandson as he barreled across the park. He zipped past lines of picnic tables covered with platters of barbecue, baked beans, tomato tarts, and raspberry cobbler. Ooh, sound like a beautiful celebration here. He hurried past a leaping choir draped in purple robes. He danced a jig with cowboys playing fiddles, but they did not stop his flow. Buddy ran to the blooming tree where Opal Lee held court. Her braided hair was a silver crown. Her eyes were twinkling stars. Ooh, look at all this beautiful activity. Yeah. Look like they're having a good time out there. Before you know it, it'll be summer. Let's see, 2 weeks from now, we're talking about the first day of spring, right? Spring will be the 20th this time. And that's 2 Mondays from now. So, and then before you know it, it'll be summer. Well, let's look at this. All right, Opal Lee holding court here. Great granddear, Buddy called. Tell us a Juneteenth story. Opal Lee raised her face to the sun as memories of yesteryear filled her vision. When she had been a Texas bud like the children at her feet, Granddaddy Zach told freedom stories on his wooden porch. As Opal Lee remembered his words, she lifted her hands and cheered. Juneteenth means freedom, and now it's story time. Then Opal Lee began. Oh, don't you love houses like this where you could just sit and enjoy? Look at all that land. Once upon a blazing sun, black bodies were bought and sold like cattle. Black men plowed the fields but were not allowed to own the land. Black women cooked the food, but were not allowed to feast on roast and ribs from the master's table. Black children cleaned the one-room schoolhouses, but were not allowed to read or write. Earning and learning were against the law. Slavery was a thief. Sure enough, was a thief. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. American slavery dragged on like a plague until January 1st, 1863. That's when President Lincoln wielded courage and raised his feathered pen. He signed the Emancipation Proclamation with a mighty stroke. Glory, glory, glory. Freedom was dazzling news like a bright starry night. However, Texas was big and many miles away from Mr. Lincoln. White masters defied his words. Black bodies remained in bondage. They plowed, they cooked, they cleaned. Freedom did not ring through Texas in 1863. Sad times, hard times. It was toiling times in Lone Star, toiling times. That means hard work, toiling times in Lone Star State for 2 years, 5 months, and 18 more weary days. Then finally joy jumped up on dancing feet in the Gulf town of Galveston, Texas. The year was 1865. The day was June 19th. Gordon Granger marched through Galveston with Union Army troops. The general raised his booming voice and spoke these righteous words. The people of Texas are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the executive of the United States, all slaves are free. Ooh, talking about victory. Opally danced in a circle. Freedom, hope, and joy divine. Juneteenth means it's freedom time. Can you imagine the excitement? Singing filled the air. Happy tears rolled down like rain. Black families leaped through cotton fields and played tambourines. It was a day of jubilee, perfect for Texas barbecue, watermelon, and sweet potato pie. Delicious delights they had been denied during servitude, during bondage, during slavery. Oh my goodness. If we can be mindful of what so many went through. Opally told the children, remember my words for safekeeping. Remember what I say. Juneteenth is bigger than Texas, singing or dancing bands. Juneteenth is freedom rising, and freedom is for everyone. Juneteenth is you and me. As the children clapped and cheered, Buddy tugged her sleeve. Great granddear, he called. What was Juneteenth like when you were a kid? Opally unwrapped yet another story. You better tell. Look, blacks and whites lived separately when I was a child. Jim Crow signs littered old Fort Worth and every public place. You see the water fountains and signs. Look at this, even the zoo. Black families were banned from Forest Park Zoo, except one day of the year. Oh my goodness. On Juneteenth, we could picnic, party, and ride the Ferris wheel. I hated that zoo. I loved it too. The birdhouse was my favorite. Buddy groaned and shook his head. The old days don't sound good. You see, I was talking about going to one of my favorite places, Lincoln Park Zoo, over the weekend. How we're so open. We could just go and it's free. Can you imagine? We couldn't go to zoos before. Good and bad worked together like the sun and rain. I spent good days on my granddaddy's porch reading poetry books. His farm was my playground. I ran across the fields and climbed the tallest oak. Glory, glory, glory. Some memories are chocolate sweet, but some memories cut and bruise. My saddest season started on Juneteenth Day, 1939. What happened? Oh my. An angry mob with flaming sticks burned my family's brand new house. Their broken minds and evil hearts were so afraid of black progress. The police made no arrests. My family moved away. Can you believe this? They're across the street looking. And yet the embers burn. That fire still lives in me. I learned a big lesson that Juneteenth Day. Freedom is a golden coin. Struggle makes it shine. Talking about some resilience. And no matter how long it takes for freedom to stretch across the land, I will keep on teaching. I will keep on reaching. I will keep on walking. I will keep on talking. I will raise my voice on the prairie and the mountaintop until freedom rings. Sign the petition, Opal Walk. Juneteenth, the national holiday, Opal's Walk. Look at that. The children lifted their hands in praise. Freedom, hope, and joy divine. Juneteenth means it's freedom time. Opal Lee winked and chuckled. I think now it's time for barbecue, strawberry cake, and red Juneteenth punch. Glory, glory, glory. Buddy cheered and waved his hands. When he bounced up to leave, Opal Lee hugged him tightly. Then, just like birds in flight, all the children flocked into her arms. Opal Lee studied their shining faces. Look at that. Black, brown, bronze, gold, tan, white, freckles. All that love. Look at this. As the children dashed away, she marveled at the bright future. Yes, children have bright futures. She rested against the blooming tree and whispered into the wind. Remember my words for safekeeping. Remember what I say. Freedom is for everyone. Juneteenth is you and me. That's right. Take advantage. Oh, look at that. And it ends. Now they have a recipe for strawberry red punch, strawberry lemonade. And then the Juneteenth timeline. 1619, 20 captured Africans arrive in Jamestown, Virginia. They are the first Africans sold into slavery in the British North American colonies. July 4, 1776, Congress adopts the Declaration of Independence, announcing the colony's separation from Great Britain. The liberties given in this document are not extended to enslaved people. That's why so many people do not celebrate July 4th, 4th of July, Independence Day. I'm just saying. September 22nd, 1862, during the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln announces the Emancipation Proclamation. It sets January 1st, 1863 as the date of freedom for over 3 million people living as slaves. His document establishes that the Civil War is a fight against slavery. January 1st, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln officially signs the Emancipation Proclamation, releasing black servants from bondage in the Confederacy. Many black men volunteered to join the Union Army and help win the war. April 9th, 1865, Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrenders to Union General Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox, yeah, that's it, courthouse in Virginia. Appomattox. This event ends the Civil War. June 19th, 1865, over 2 years after Lincoln's signing of the Emancipation Proclamation, General Gordon Granger reads General Order Number 3 in Galveston and ends slavery in Texas. This day is now called Juneteenth. December 6, 1865, the 13th Amendment is ratified when 3/4 of the state approves it. The amendment makes slavery illegal in America. So that's approximately 6 months after Juneteenth. Then June 19th, 1866, the next year, the first official Juneteenth celebration takes place in Galveston and other Texas towns and cities. The celebrations grow across the nation in the following years as free blacks migrate beyond the American South. June 1968. Oh, my mom was carrying me. Let's see, if I was born in December 1968, 6 months before, she was 3 months pregnant. During the Poor People's Campaign in Washington, D.C., civil rights leader Ralph Abernathy encourages black Americans to rededicate themselves to celebrating Juneteenth as they pursue economic and civil rights following the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. January 1st, 1980, Juneteenth becomes the official state holiday in Texas. 2020, By this time, 47 American states celebrate Juneteenth as a state holiday or day of observance. And June 15, 2021, the U.S. Senate and Congress vote to make Juneteenth a national holiday commemorating the end of American slavery. President Joe Biden signs the legislation into law with grandmother Opal Lee standing at his side. Isn't that wonderful? In memory of Mary Alice Lee Owens Walsh and to Cora Lee Ogden and Lucinda Hayes. So a lot of dedication. And these two young ladies, author Alice Faye Duncan, picture book include biographies of Black artists and moments in American history seldom told. She also writes lyrical stories that celebrate the sustaining power of love between a mother and child. Alice's book, Memphis, Martin, and the Mountaintop, won a 2019 Coretta Scott Honor Medal for illustrations. Yes. And then Keturah A. Bobo is an artist and New York Times best-selling illustrator known for creating vibrant images that are relatable and distinguishable. She is passionate about creating art that inspires, uplifts, and advocates for her community. Keturah has received notable praises for her colorful illustrative style that brings her story to life and resonates with the viewer. She graduated with a BFA from Columbia College of Art and Design and lives in Columbus, Ohio, with her family of entrepreneurs. You better go on. These talented two young ladies celebrating and just showing, look at that, what we've gone through. So that's why we can't waste any time with what we have. And look at this. Freedom, hope, and joy divine. Juneteenth means it's freedom time. Yes, grandmother of Juneteenth, Opal Lee. Well, let's make sure that we share these stories with shorties. I tell you, for such a time as this, we got to pass the baton, pass this information. We have so many kids who just wasting time. They don't know who they are. They don't have their identity intact. And it's because some of us, we're dropping the ball. We're not passing on these narratives, the history of where we came from. I had the 7th graders, and I had them sing it 3 times, the Negro National Anthem today. They were like, ha, ha, ha. But listen, it was for a grade. I said all 3 verses. Stony the road we trod, God of our weary years, lift every voice and sing. They need to know. They need to know. The thing about it is there's no respect for our history, the struggle, where we've come from. But let's take the time so that they can have a bright future. All right. Enjoy, and let's celebrate every day the victory of freedom.